Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, I've just realised I've not changed my background, so let me quickly do that. Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It's time for your Norwich versus Leeds semi-final playoff match live reaction. It was Norwich 0, it was Leeds 0. It wasn't a game for the purists. It was actually quite a rubbish game of football, if I do say so myself. Same with Southampton at West Brom. You know why? It's the playoffs, it's cup football, it's cage. Neither manager wants to lose. Who's it better for not to lose? Of course, Leeds United to get. I keep thinking of a point, but to take, a 0-0 to Ellen Road is a positive thing. I thought Leeds United dominated the second half of football without creating hatfuls. It's actually the least XG Leeds United have created this season under Daniel Farke. Does it matter? Nah, not really. Look, at the end of the day, when you deep it, we could talk about what went right, what went wrong. I thought the 4-3-3, it was nice to see you change something up. We'll have a chat with the guys and get their thoughts on it. But we had some good performers out there. I thought Kamara was back to his best maybe, but he was better than we've seen of recent weeks. We kept a clean sheet. I need to remind folks that in the preview, I said that our last 4 away games, Leeds had conceded on average 2.75 goals per game. That's almost 3 goals a game in the last 4 away games. That's not good. We've kept a clean sheet, okay? And now, when you deep it and think about it, Leeds United have to win 1 game at Ellen Road to get to the final. If you could tell us before, you need to win 1 game at Ellen Road to get to the final, you take that, you snap their hands off, okay? People want to call it copium and that. People want to be mad and all this sort of stuff. Just look at that West Brom Southampton game. Exactly same affair. 0-0. Terrible day for football, in all honesty. Hopefully Arsenal, Manchester United improves things. And Arsenal batter Manchester United, which I think they will. But yeah, the game wasn't great, but there's many positives to pull out of it. And as a Leeds United fan who was nervous all week, was unsure, when I seen the 4-3-3, it went up a notch. But then, afterwards, I'm positive again now. I'm thinking Thursday, fine. Win at Ellen Road, we're through. And then we'll see who we get. I want West Brom, so don't fancy Southampton. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We've got to win them. Sargent going off injured, ankle injury, off the ball. That's a positive for Leeds. That's a positive. Positive for Leeds, James came off the bench, looked lively. Anthony came off the bench, looked lively. We look better structurally. I'm going to find out from the lads whether or not they think he'll go with that same structure at Ellen Road, though. Was that just to make sure that we didn't get beat? I'm not too sure. Just a few shout-outs. Beelzeball83, Mark Stocks, and Helen Walker, who's now been a member for 26 months. That's insane. Big up to Helen, all right? We will get to your comments. Before we do, let's welcome in Lockie. Let's welcome in Paul. And first time on the show, regular viewer and member, Ryan Standell. Ryan, lovely to see you, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm tired of being a keyboard warrior, so finally get to use my mouth instead.
I love that, mate. I love that. Same headphones as well. Loving the background.
Yeah.
Legend, man. There we go. Paul, how are you, man? Good?
Yeah, good. Yeah, really, really good. A lot better after this afternoon. Yeah. Not going to lie, I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning with a really weird feeling in the pit of my stomach. I've drunk half a bottle of Gaviscon already. I'm feeling it now. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm ready for the home tie.
Good. And Lockie, how are you, mate? Apart from being tired, no doubt. You're always tired. You're like me.
Yeah, still tired, mate. Yeah. I'm all right. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I'm good, man.
Good.
Could have been worse, couldn't it?
Yeah, could have been. Everyone's mood seems as great as that game that we watched, to be honest, both of them. Yeah. Lockie, I'm going to come straight back to you. We wanted a change in system. Yeah. Everyone wanted a change in system. We got a change in system. He went with the 4-3-3. How are you feeling about that? Were you happy about that? Positive about that? What did you think?
I think it was more the role. So, for example, Jorginho as a 10, we know he's a more attacking player, so naturally he's veering to going forward, and we know defensively and positionally defensively is not it. It's not his type. It's not who he is. He's predominantly a striker, right? But with Archie in there, what that just allowed was that defensive solidity. It wasn't as effective going forward, but with 3 in there that are there defending and not one that's running around trying to press that's then just getting bypassed was so much more solid. I think it allowed as well on the ball, although we didn't get a lot of success with it. With that midfield three, it allowed the full-backs to go forward. Gruev just dropped between the centre-backs. They split. The wingers inverted, and then you got 5 on their back 4, and that worked in terms of positionally. We just didn't have that quality in the final third, mate. I think that we'll work on. I think that's the week now to work on that. We've shown with this shape that we have with these players. I don't think, I've saying before, I don't think he'll change it. I think he'll keep the exact same. I think with these players in this shape defensively, we look really good. It might have been boring. It's not exciting, but as a solid core, that's what you need, isn't it? We've been battered defensively recently, and this has shown that we are all right. We just maybe need to be a bit more protective of that back 4 at times, especially a team in Norwich who transition you and kill you. They didn't have an opportunity to do that today, did they? No. They really didn't. But yeah, it helped with Arch in there, and the 3 in there together worked well in terms of defensive. There's still questions going forward, but I'm a lot more positive from seeing that. I'm not worried we're going to ship 4 or 5 goals each game. I'm content with that. We just really need to work on now this week, those rotations up front and the front 3 or 4 working. If we get that right, we've got a really good balance with that shape. Yeah.
No, agreed. Ryan, what did you make to the game overall, mate, as a spectacle? It wasn't the best, was it, mate?
It's not one you're going to remember, but I think it's a cagey first leg. You know, you always look at the Southampton game. It's exactly the same for them, especially the way Norwich set up, the way West Brom set up, similar sort of thing. I think you take 0-0 back to Ellen Road all day long, don't you?
Yeah, I think you do, Paul, don't you? Knowing that, like, for me, it's a win at Ellen Road at home and you're through to the final. Like, when you actually say it like that, you've got to be confident, man.
Yeah. I think for me, the thing that shocked me most was the change in the formation, changing to 4-3-3. I didn't see that happening at all. Didn't think that would happen. And one of the first things I did was send a message to Andrea going, "I bet you're happy," and obviously he was. But yeah, I echo what Lockie said, just in terms of the way that gave us that stability. The first half was a little bit because clearly you could see they were just trying to get their heads around it, and then as the second half wore on, we dominated without dominating chances on goal. We didn't look troubled by anything really coming forward by a couple of chances. So yeah, it's just that finishing that needs sorting out for me.
Yeah. On that, the midfield in that first half, I'm looking at their midfield and our midfield, and nothing came through ours. There was no progression from our midfield on the ball. I didn't think it was great at all. That changed for me. That did change. The last 25 minutes, I thought it was really good, especially one player, Kamara, which I'm seeing really mixed things about, which I'm shocked personally.
You think he was good, right?
I thought the last 30 minutes, I thought he was really good.
Yeah, he was best for a while, I think, personally.
He took responsibility. He took responsibility today in that final 30 minutes. So he really did. And I need that from him from the start next game. Because he controlled the game in the last 30 minutes. That was he set the tempo. So, I was impressed.
No, same. I thought he was good today as well. I was surprised to see some people mocking him. What do we make to Ryan? What do we make to the referee's performance? Was it a pen for you? Should it? I mean, for me, it was a pen, I think. But what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I think probably. Is it just outside the box? Maybe.
I
think it's one of them so early on in the game as well. And I hate refs that seem to just the crowd goes up, the home crowd goes up, and he's giving the foul.
Yeah.
I think at Ellen Road he gives it. I think he's one of them type of refs.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Refs at this level just sort of frustrating, aren't they?
Yeah. They're frustrating everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah. You can't get away from that.
Yeah. I thought we got away with a few yellow cards today. I can't lie.
Do you?
Yeah, that Byron one where he pulled him on the edge of the box. 5 minutes later, they did it to us, and then they got booked.
Yeah.
So,
maybe. I did see some takes. Actually, someone stuck their head above the parapet and says, "Listen, Leeds fans won't want to like this." But I thought he had a good game, and that came from a Leeds fan. I mean, I disagreed with that, but yeah, I think. I don't know how you feel, Paul, and they said it at half-time on Sky. I think if that would have come 30 minutes in and not right at the start, he gives at least a free kick. But because it was so early on, it felt to me he bottled it.
At the very, very least, yeah. It was. Yeah. It's weird. Unless it's absolutely blatant, it's almost too early for it to give. Yeah. I mean, the referee, call him it if you want, to give away a penalty that early on. it just there was I was because I was in your watch along. There was a couple of times I was just saying that this ref is absolutely bobbins. He's just there was little touches and stuff. Norwich were doing a really good job of throwing themselves about and getting free kicks for it, that like the dark art side of things. But it's just like, I mean, Farke he was absolutely incensed, wasn't he, about the goal that was disallowed? Because according to his guys who watched the replays and everything, he's onside. Yeah. But the Sky TV shows the one and he's offside. So he said he's got 12 letters at home now of apologies.
Something like that,
offside decisions.
I didn't think it was a goal. He looked
They'd be getting the lines out though, wouldn't they?
Yeah. 100%.
And then there's that one that Norwich did that was about 5 yards that they didn't get.
Yeah, no, that was wild, that one, by the way. I thought that.
Yeah, that's a frustrating bit,
Yeah, it does come down to consistency. Let me find out, folks. Obviously, I was quite surprised at some of the reaction post-match to the 0-0. But are we all positive about it? Obviously, you'd rather have won the game, but are we positive about a 0-0?
Yeah, I think there was only one team that was going to win. Sorry, Lucky, mate.
Sorry.
I think there was only one team that was going to win it that last 15 minutes, especially when Sargent goes off. I think Norwich sort of think that's our punch sort of gone.
Yeah.
And we look like the team. If we were going to carry on there, we look like this. But we're quite happy. I think Farke's quite happy with that 0-0, and he'll take that home.
Yeah.
And if Sargent is injured, then happy days.
It's even better, isn't it? Because I don't know how you felt, Paul, but they definitely lost something trying to get out when Sargent did come off, and apparently it was off the ball. It's another knock to his ankle, which he's already been plagued with this season. And I know it might be a cheap shot, but at the end of the day, if they're without their main man, that's a massive plus for us, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, was Sargent actually playing today? I'm serious.
It was all right, Biz. No, I hear what you're saying.
Genuinely, yeah. He had that one chance that he should have done better with.
Yeah.
But I think our midfield and our defence did a very, very, very good job of marshalling him. But it did. It took out a bit of a focal point for them. It's a bit like for them, he's probably. Don't get mad at me in the comments. He's their version of Bamford.
Bamford, yeah.
That target man and bringing in occupying defenders and stuff like that. And I mean, Van Hooijdonk did nothing when he came on.
No, nothing at all. Just while we're on the chat of forward, and I do want to bring it up because Darren mentions it. I'll come to you, Lockie. Can anybody tell me why Joseph not playing? He's tried everybody else. What has he done wrong? So, what did you make to the 3 and Rutter being in the 9? Could it have been Pirro on reflection? Because I thought again, Lockie. I thought Rutter was poor, and I think he does need a time on the sideline and maybe would be better impacting it off the bench for a little bit. I must say, little bit. We've literally got 2 games left if we make it to the final. But could he have started with Pirro, or could he have gone with Joseph with Nonton and some of the either side? Is there anything you would have changed or would change ahead of the next tie? Would you try James maybe instead of Nonton, or put Nonton in the 9? Like, how do you change that, or should he give Joseph a go?
Rutter was poor. It's at the point now with Rutter where even 1v1s when he was out wide, he's not beating a man, which you do freeze. It's definitely, obviously, his recovery and stuff like that isn't as good as he thought. He's clearly in pain, but also I just think his confidence is really low. I think we've seen that with him already. He's a young guy. He's not played so much football. He's definitely confidence. Like 1v1, he's not committing himself running at people anymore, which he used to do.
Bro, he misses that chance in the first minutes. Well, he don't even connect with the ball.
He don't even technically miss it because he misses the ball. Yeah.
It's bad though, that, because any connection forces a save or it's 1-0.
Yeah. Like, it don't even go down on XG because he's completely missed the ball. That's crazy. He's struggling. He is, but I'm honestly reluctant to change it. I really am. I think if you've been working on something for so long and the shape's good, and even off the ball, his quality wasn't good, but he did find good spaces, some good areas in the second half when we did need to relieve pressure. He give the ball away, but I think we need to be careful with bringing Matteo in. I've said this all season, and I get criticised by some people on my channel saying, you can't be level-headed about a player without people saying you're criticising him. I've done videos on Matteo Joseph saying how much I like him. But I think you've got to be so careful that if the manager, for whatever reason, doesn't trust him in these games, because he didn't bring him on, If you don't trust him in these games, it's just he's not going to start him, whether we think he should or not. Look, I'd love to see what he can do. I really would. I think he's full of energy. His movement's really good. It's quite, and in the box is dangerous. He'll find spaces. I think it's something that we can exploit in opponents, but the manager just, for whatever reason, don't know why it is, whether he's right or wrong. Well, I guess we'll think if we go up and we miss chances, we should say, well, Jose should have played, and rightfully so. But I'm reluctant to change anything, mate, to be honest. I think this week we need to, with that front four, or with the fullbacks as well, front five, whatever we do, I think we really need to work on our combinations in the final third because that's going to be key now. We've seen it in this game when we take control of the game, when Kamara steps up. I know people saying we didn't pass it, and any chance he had to pass forward in that second half, he did. He passed it into Perot, into Byram's feet. He did it a lot. That front three needs to be more proactive for me. It's still a bit stale on the ball. They're still a bit predictable. Somerville's struggling as well, I believe. He's not finding that. No. He needs a moment, doesn't he? I think he wants to have a moment in a game, but even when he took the guy on, his touch in the box is bad. Just little stuff like that. Yeah. They are struggling, them guys. I'm glad as a defensive shape we stepped up because otherwise we'd be in trouble. But that's it.
First and foremost, don't concede in it. Don't concede and then
and we got
from
that.
there.
But then so what do you guys think though? Because do you take Rutter out? Who do you bring in James if you want James to start this? Do you want to ruin the dynamic? It's a risk, I guess, but
I would argue starting. He's not going to start Joseph, so I'd start Pirot in a 4-3-3.
All right.
4-3-3 works better for Pirot. For me, that just in terms of personal opinion. Rutter isn't a number 9. As gifted as he is, he's not a number 9. That's not his position to have. And you could see just with the amount of times as well when he was coming deep in the first half and just that sort of lower level of confidence. And it was evident when Rutter went off and Pirot and Anthony came on, that it just seemed to go up a notch a little bit. There was a bit more about us when those two came on. And I just think that I thought Pirot was all right. I don't think he was anything earth-shattering, but he was more in the position of the striker mould. He still has that thing of drifting back.
Do you think Paulie doesn't start him because he can't press for 90 minutes and that's the problem that we'll have? Because the game state, there's not much pressing at that point, whereas at the start and they've got the ball, he's not going to do what Rutter was doing in a sense. Although there wasn't a mad press, I just think Pirot looks even... Yeah, it's easier for Norwich to play through us with Pirot as a pressing number 9, if you like.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'd agree with that.
He's not off the ball, he's better.
Yeah, off the ball, he's much better structurally in it than, say, Pirot. Yeah, you agree.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one there. So do you bring Dan James in? Do you play Nonto in the 9? And then there's so many options. I think one thing I mentioned this, first game of the season, Nonto played as the 9 and he didn't score, but he played really well. I thought he was our best player until Somerville turned up with last 10 minutes. He was really good. So maybe that's a combination Farke's going to try to do. I do think they're quite fluid. Somerville and Nonto swatch sides a lot. Rutter even played out wide at times. I do think they're quite fluid in there. But one thing that would go in Joel Pirot's favour for me is, so we didn't have any depth really. There was no real runs in behind from the striker, from Rutter. And Joel Pirot can't really do that. So I guess that if that's not there, because you're getting that through your wingers and your fullbacks, aren't you? I guess that works in his favour. He can come to feet more and there's more around him with Somerville and Nonto cutting in, stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he does make any changes, if he does drop Jorginho. I don't think he will. I just think he's trying to play him through this because let's be real, if he does turn up Jorginho, he can win you the game. Yeah. But it's not been great recently. I'm not going to deny that. He really hasn't.
No. And I know we made changes today, but on the whole, you go with what's got you here, don't you? He has got 90 points.
Yeah. Oh, don't say that, Ryan. Everyone goes mental these days.
Hands up.
I'm sick of this 90-point narrative, and I'm like, what narrative? You mean the fact that you got 90 points? There's no narrative. You don't get it by
accident.
No, exactly.
I think it was quite evident that he told the players not to press high for probably, I'd say, about 70 minutes of the match, and just to not sit low or sit deep, but just to let Norwich have the ball a little bit more and put the foot in when they knew there was a strong chance of getting it. And then as the game wore on, the pressing started to come a little bit higher. It in stages went a little bit higher up the pitch, and that was quite evident as well. So just really interesting the way that he's done it.
Dan James came on as well, and his pace is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You think you don't have to start running. You just he's walking, he's sprinting, and he's there. He's crazy quick, that guy.
The thing is, as well, going into the second leg, if Leeds score, Norwich have to come out. And if they come out, where are Leeds United best? In transition.
With
Then
no
you bring on the
side
likes of
as well.
James, you bring on Anthony. We can take the game away from them at that point. So, that's something to note as well.
Just quickly, Joe,
go on, mate, yeah.
really I just want to say I thought Anthony did well when he came on. I think he found good spaces. He kept the ball well. Yeah.
Direct,
he's not as
isn't he?
direct.
He's direct.
Yeah, he's not as like... No, in terms of like 1v1 with defender, he's not going to... But a 2v1 out wide, he'll do a good combination, stuff like that. Yeah, really impressive.
Yeah, same. Okay, JT's with us as well. JT, welcome, my man. How are you feeling after that, brother?
It was a bit of a interesting game, should we say, wasn't it? It wasn't the most eventful. It
was rubbish. It wasn't a great watch.
It felt a bit flat, you know what I mean? And it's probably,
yeah.
The weather as well. It's hot outside. They don't have the energy to be sat inside watching football. Maybe that was a part of it as well. It was a bit of a damp squib game, but you expect that. And that kind of just shows me that the second leg, is about to blow into life. But I'm relatively happy with what I saw. Because as I said, I know people call it superstitious. They call it OCD, whatever. I always said, do I feel like we're going to beat them 4 times in one season? No. So the fact that we've drawn the first leg, beating them 3 times in one season seems a lot more feasible to me. We didn't exert too much energy. We rested Rutter a little bit near the end of the game there. Somerville came off near the end. I didn't think it was his best game. But I feel like we're cooking up something for the second leg, not exerting too much. And defensively, I will say, we didn't look too bad, if I'm being honest. At least there's a big improvement in that portion. And these kind of games, you need to keep it tight at the back because they are cagey. You're not going to have too many clear-cut chances. So you need to keep things short at the back and then hopefully take your chances at the other end. I will say we did have a lot of issues creativity-wise. We really didn't look imaginative at all going forward. We had ball in dangerous areas. Like, we were in their final third a lot, especially in that second half. We controlled a lot of the game, in my opinion. But again, there's not really any kind of focal point in the middle to draw defenders away, to create space. It was very congested in and around the 18-yard box. If you had a Joseph or someone like that, I know everyone's going to go crazy about Joseph, why is he not playing? And I will do the same thing. But you need someone in that middle who can drag defenders away, who can create spaces for the Rutters, for the Archie Grays in that little pocket just behind. And that's what we were missing, in my opinion. And do I think he'll change that in the second leg? Unfortunately, no. But why we're going into the all going well, if things go perfectly, the third last game of the season, doing the same thing that we all said in the second game of the season doesn't work in playing Rutter in the number 9. Why we're doing that, I don't know. People could turn around and say, is it too much of a risk to play Joseph up front at this point in the season? But at the same time, we're playing Archie Gray, the furthest forward he's played in his entire adult career in this game of the season. So he's shown that he's willing to take risks with young players. Why not do it with either Joseph or Gelhard? I think the team will flow a lot better. That's the final missing piece of the puzzle. I heard you talking earlier about what you would change for the second leg. That's what I would change. I don't know if Connor Roberts is going to be able to start at right back because I don't think Byron was. I don't think he's going to be my man for that right back position. For me, I would like to put Archie Gray in holding midfield. I would drop Gruev, put Gray and Kamara back in there, Rutter in the 10 and Joseph up front. Ideal scenario. Will it happen? No. Because when I look at Norwich, again, like I said, they weren't playing the deepest. Like there's space in behind that back line. If you have the right kind of pace, if you threaten it properly, I feel like there is space to be got at in behind Norwich's back line. So those are the changes I would make. But overall, as I said, it was a comfortable game. Nothing too crazy. And I'm feeling a little bit more confident for the second leg now.
Yeah, no, that's great. Great assessment, mate. Fair enough. Thank you. We have had a couple of super chats. Barney says, Joe, thanks for your hard work, bro. Always look forward to watching you as much as the games. All the fellas and ladies coming on the show are great too. Games left to win and live the dream. We'd all take that back in October. That's the important thing as well. With straight after kickoff, there was quite a bit of negativity in the chat, and I thought I'm not even engaging with it because I didn't get it. Because, like I say, we are 1 win away at home at Ellen Road, where we've been amazing, and we've only lost twice from getting to Wembley. You take that every day of the week. Lord Shiragraph says, don't get the Leeds hating Leeds fans. The draw is a great result at Norwich. Leeds are going up, marching on together. And my brother Abdul Rahman Al Khalifi says, I don't know how to say this, but Melia made me nervous and worried. Jorginho is not the same player after his hernia. I think we all agree. Gnonto was our best player. Defence looked much more solid. Let's talk about the keeper again. Paul, if anyone did put the shit suppers in that game, it was him.
Yeah.
I'm sick of the constant... I know that's the way we play, but even when we're under pressure, we still go right into Rodon, and then Rodon gets pressed. It's almost like that's the trigger for the opposition, and he just puts it into the right-hand channel. I don't think we used Ampadu enough. And then there was also that hospital pass into Gruev, which I do want to back Meslier up as well, because Gruev did ask for the ball. He did ask for it, and Meslier said that. You asked. But maybe at that time he might have asked for it, but it's probably not key to passing where he's got 3 yellow shirts around him. But what did you make to Mellier's performance? And I'm just going to run to the toilet while you answer that, mate.
Nearly what I thought. No, he's the weakest link for me in terms of the defence side of stuff. What was it? 3 times he put the ball out, I think? Yeah, just from kicking it out. He just kicked it out 3 times. And I know it's difficult as being a keeper sometimes, but it's just, you can tell he's nervous and that he's worried about stuff and worried about where he's going and what he's doing and all of that kind of stuff. But, Joe's right. It was constant ball to the right. And then Ampadu wasn't seeing any of the ball at all. And we couldn't set anything off properly from that position. But then again, it's that if we're going to play the long ball over the top, somebody being there. I mean, he played one long ball in the second half, I think it was, that if their defender hadn't got to it, Gibson, Gnonto was in. Gnonto was absolutely in. So it's I wasn't enamoured with him, to say the least. He's gone downhill for me as kind of the last few games of the season have progressed. I don't know how anybody else feels, but that's genuinely...
I've really backed him, but I think one thing that's really become sort of apparent, I think, is reliance on sort of confidence. I think when he's really confident, and he's pulling off crazy saves, and also the team's confidence as well. I think when the team's playing well, he's more likely to make one of those big saves. But yeah, when he had the ball today, he looked very nervous, and I was worried.
What that does as well, it then creates nervousness in the back line, I think, and then you've got people complaining at one another. Lockie, what are your thoughts? Because he wasn't great today. I know he didn't have to make a save, but I watched Southampton versus West Brom, and I shouldn't make comparisons, but I watched Palmer make a key save. I watched Alex McCarthy make a couple, and I go, if that's our keeper, I'm not sure who does it, bro. I don't know you.
Well, he didn't have ultimates. I can't really make that comparison.
That's fair.
Maybe he would have. But yeah, I look at his face in the tunnel, and he was the only one for me that looked quite nervous in there. He was, he looked like, I don't know, something about his face looked a bit sheepish today. And going on last performance, obviously he's conceded a lot of goals, so that's natural there. But I thought everyone else looked quite calm and relaxed compared to him. I think he was kind of a bit behind them. So I don't know whether that's just him still recovering. Like I said, he's completely... He needs to change how quickly he loses confidence, because as a goalkeeper, you have to be confident. That's a simple thing. If you're not, everyone is worried about you. How many times have you been in a team where you're like, we need to protect the goalkeeper and stuff like that? A goalkeeper shouldn't need protecting in that sense. A goalkeeper, when he has the moments when he's on the ball, I wasn't even getting highly pressed at times. It just weren't quite there. I do think at times, though, in fairness to him, at times, our shape isn't great when he's on the ball. I do think the options are a bit scarce, They don't quite show themselves, so he's not quite sure, so he hesitates. So then he goes safe to Rodon, and then they press. So that's again midfield rotation for me. Again, that we've got to be quicker with them still. But on the ball, he just looks nervous at times. I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's a thing that is just him, or he just feels these environments. I don't know. It's a high pressure situation, but it's weird, because I thought everyone else got out of that kind of the rut from the previous game, and he's kind of felt like he was still in it today.
Ampadu was shouting at him a lot in terms of to come and either collect the ball or come almost like sweeper-like. There's a couple of times when he's mentioned, you could see Ampadu mentioning that to him, and I think Rodon said a couple of things to him as well. So, yeah.
Well, the thing is with me, I try not to complain or think about things that you can't change. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and lambast the guy when at the end of the day we drew 0-0. We didn't concede a goal. He's not the main problem in that performance that I watched. There were a lot more harrowing positions on the pitch which could do with fixing. More importantly, as you touched on, Lockie, I believe the patterns of play going forward, it's the same as the beginning of the season. Or a lot of our good performances and goals have come from individual qualities, come from a moment of magic from either Rutter or Somerville. Very rarely do we see us actually carve out teams with really nice, intricate one-touch football like we did under Bielsa. It's quite rare we actually see that with sides, especially when teams kind of sit back against us. But on Méliès specifically, listen, the whole team's dropped off recently over the past month, and more importantly, we don't have another option. There's no one better in the club that we have. I don't think there's that much better in the league. I know you look at the West Brom game, you say he's pulled out saves. I don't think there's much better out there. So for me, there's no point even complaining when he's literally the best option we have. When I complain about us going forward, it's because I believe there's better alternatives on the bench. Whereas in this situation, he's literally all we have. He's done a good enough job to get us to this point in the season. We went on that crazy, run, barely conceding a goal. He was still a part of that as well. He has quality in him. Yes, is he probably under the cosh a little bit, but it's the playoffs, and the goalkeeper is probably one of the most stressful positions on the pitch to play in. So do I still think he can turn it around and pull through for us? Yes.
I think that's a fair
I just want him to find his confidence again. Do you know what I mean? Looking at him, I just want him to, because we all, as even a lot of us on here, when maybe we shouldn't have at times, backed him. The club do back him, the fans back him. They don't never really get on his back. So I just want him to find his confidence again. That's all.
Yeah, but that's a long-term issue. You know what I mean? We're talking short to medium term.
And he's had that for years, hasn't he? That's been a thing for him. But yeah, for this game specifically, you are right though. We have drew 0-0. So.
Yeah, no, fair. Maybe we're just looking things to complain about, but yeah, I hear what.
No, I mean, my dad. The reason why is because I had the same conversation literally with my dad. I mean, he was saying the exact same things you guys are saying. So,
Leeds fans finding something to complain about.
Yeah. You mean you put your dad in the bin like you just did all of us? Yeah, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no. I understand your points.
No, I get it. I get it. No, I think you're right though. There's not what we can do about it for now, is there? I do want to give props to Farker as well, just because he obviously takes a lot of stick, and even pre-game, people saying the 4-3-3 is too late. It's now suicide. Why has he done that? And then I'm like, well, hang on a minute. You wanted him to change it. Now he's changed it. Now it's too late that he's changed it. Like, what the fuck? And he said before after the game, and I just want to read what he said. In the last away games, we've conceded too many goals. We wanted to use Archie's ability to cover ground. We wanted to be calm, and we wanted to calm down Norwich's attacking threats. That's the reason we chose this. We wanted to get out of our defensive stability back. People talk about plan. In terms of a plan that you've put together for a game, everything he's mentioned there is done. So I think we owe him praise for that. I don't know what your thoughts are, Ryan, because he does take a hell of a lot of flack for what I would consider a great season.
He does, and for someone who's not been in the playoffs before, I like the way he's looked at it as a 2-game scenario, and and he does get criticised. He doesn't have a plan B. But he's really thought about this first leg, and I think because I think we're all looking at Roberts thinking he was going to come in today, but I think he's looked at Byram away from home, keep it tight, take him back to Ellen Road, and he might put Roberts in from the start on Thursday, and I think he does deserve a lot of credit for that, especially if that's what he does on Thursday and he really goes at them at Ellen Road, and that shows, for his first playoffs, he's really thought about those 2 legs and spread it over one.
I think that's a great shout, mate. Because actually, in my preview, I spoke down of Farker and his ability to do that. I remember speaking about it, saying, look, I don't think he will do that, whereas Wagner will, and that's why I'm not confident. And you've made a great point there. He has looked at the game, not as if this is in regulation season, he says, our way is the only way, and we win out. I'm not going to change it like Carlos does, for example, after every game. It's very much, this is my way, this is our way, this is how we play. He even said that prior to 1-0 Arsenal, by the way, get in. He actually said that prior to the game. Nothing will change. We will do the same things. So a little bit of mind trick, because I can guarantee you, when David Wagner looked at that team sheet, he did not expect that. He would have expected 4-2-3-1, right, Paul? You know?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I thought that as soon as I saw that, and I thought that will unsettle Norwich to a certain degree. And you know, it's right. Looking at it over a 2-game scenario, so first half, first game, second half, second game. And it was to keep it tight. And if we can challenge and nick a goal, then great. But the main thing is don't concede, because that's what's been killing us. And we managed to do that in this game. And yeah, I've got to give props to him for making that change.
Yeah.
No, I mean, even if you look at his like facial expression after the game, I think you can see he was quite happy to get a draw. I think that was pretty much their game plan. Keep it tight, keep it tighter at the back. Keep a clean sheet. Doesn't really matter too much about getting a lead in this stage of the game, because when I see him after, it wasn't down, and it wasn't like overly gassed celebrating like, yes, we've got a draw. It was like this kind of confident smirk I saw about him, like, okay, this is it. Like, I know something you don't know, kind of deal that I kind of sort of got from him and the players a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah, well, he'll be happy with that. He set up a team, like you said, defensively. But what he means by that is, look at their main threats, really. They've got Jonathan Rowe. What happened then, Joe? Jeez.
I don't know.
He froze like Norwich will on Thursday.
my phone disconnected. I heard the beep. I thought it's reconnected. Why is it disconnected? And then I look and I was froze. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Yeah. So the main threat, Jonathan Rowe was, for his standards, fairly quiet. We didn't give him much space.
We've locked him off in every game, by the way. Locked him off.
Firpo as well. Again, you look at Boris Sainz on the other side. Apart from one or two moments, fairly quiet, and he can be a quality player. Gabriel Sara, arguably one of the best players in the league. For his standard, fairly quiet. And then you look at how they attack transition. They didn't have any. Or maybe had one, which we dealt with. Like, that's good. You've worked on that all week, and you've got a good message across the team, and they've understood that message, and you've got the result you wanted from that. Now, this is where, for me, now we know how they play. We know what their triggers are. We know how we can at least nullify them to some extent defensively. And now it's working on the forward bit for this next few days, going to Ellen Road, you know, really emphasising putting that pressure on them, because, you know, the crowd, if we have one attack that's dangerous, the crowd will be right up for that straight away. So that's the side now we have to work on. But when we do that, make sure we do it in a way that it doesn't affect our defensive, because I think we can nullify them again if we play like we did today defensively.
Yeah. I think, I agree with you. I just want to shout out the Leeds fan as well. Unfortunately, there's been a bit of a nasty situation coming out of Carrow Road, singing songs about knives and about a certain team that play in Turkey. And the lad went over and said, "Why are you doing that?" And they've slashed him in the neck and threw a can at him. Some guy's dad, actually. It's all over Twitter. So thoughts with him. And if anyone's seen anything, and I know there's Norwich fans saying this as well, if anyone's seen anything, then please do.
What's stabbed by another Leeds fan?
No, by a Norwich fan. It might not even be a Norwich fan. It might just be Yobs at the game. It could be from an opposing team. You don't know. But they came out of the ground and they were getting sung at them terrible songs, tragedy chanting. So yeah, I hope that gets sorted. And our thoughts are with the guy. I think. I don't have his name or anything, but it's a lad on Twitter by the name of Dorset Hot Tub Higher Dorset. It was a Leeds fan, home and away, and his dad's been attacked, which isn't great and it's unsavoury. So, like I say, I hope that gets sorted. Just to finish up, folks. How confident are we that Leeds United will progress from this point? Because my confidence from pre and post match has gone up a level. That was the longest 8 days I've had to wait for a game. It came. Yes, it wasn't great, but knowing that we've come out of it with, I keep thinking of a point, knowing I've come out of it with the game massively in Leeds' favour, having going at Ellen Road where we've only lost twice this season, switch up a play, seeing the Norwich side maybe potentially without Sargent, I'm very confident that the Leeds now will get to the final on the 26th of May. And then we'll see who we play. Please let it be West Brom. We'll go clockwise. Lockie, first to you, mate. How confident are you for Thursday night's game?
I'm still nervous, mate.
Really?
It's because this is it with these guys, these players. I do believe in them. They've shown this season that they can be very good. But it's just that the real pressure's on now. If they can perform off the ball like they did today, but then attack with what we know we can do, I'm not worried. But I'm just worried if we'll do that. I hope we can. What are you? Like an old man.
No, sorry. Can someone remove Carl from the chat for me, please? Carry on, please, buddy.
Yeah, I saw that. It's. I'm just worried as a Leeds fan. Like, will they perform in a way which they need to, or will they crumble? Will they turn up like that? After today, I am more encouraged, especially from a defensive perspective. But we really need. I don't want it to go extra time and all that rubbish. We really need those front players to turn up. They're all capable of having moments. They're all capable of it, even in bad games. I need one of them to turn up and have a moment. That's what I need.
Yeah. Paul, coming to you, mate.
Yeah. The game today has given me more confidence overall. If we can still keep that structure and that shape and play the way that we played today, then yes, we need to work on finishing this week before the game on Thursday. So I'm quietly confident, I think.
Same. I'm confident now. I can't lie to you. JT, come on. Where's your head at, my man?
Well, my head is sweating buckets as I am right now. That's where my head is. I'm absolutely boiling in here. But no, as I said, I'm feeling relatively confident. I'm feeling more confident now than I did before. As I said, part of that is a superstitious 4-game thing, but also the fact that I feel like there is some sort of game plan there. I felt like we didn't exert ourselves too much because, listen, football is a game of two halves. It's also a game of two legs. And the fact that I feel like we still have a lot to improve on is the thing that's giving me confidence. If we'd have played like an amazing game and we'd edged a 1-0, then I would have been a little less confident because then Norwich will have things to figure out. They'll have figured things out about us and they'll be able to set that accordingly. But because we've still left a little bit of gunpowder dry, maybe Connor Roberts to come in, maybe a couple of other changes, I feel like there's a plan there. I feel like there's an idea there. And that is what's giving me confidence going into the second leg.
You need to embrace them fans. Then you really need to embrace them. Yeah. That could be the key.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be exciting, actually. Ryan, come on then. Let's finish up. Great debut, by the way. Welcome back anytime, brother.
Sure. Oh, appreciate it. Appreciate having me on. Like I said, it's frustrating sometimes when you're just being a keyboard warrior. So it's nice to get your voice out.
Yeah, man.
But no, I'm the same as everyone else. Really nervous before today's game, and then you see the way he set up before kickoff, and you think, oh, he's changed it up. It's sort of sink or swim time, and then a really sort of tactical performance, and then it gets you excited for Thursday. I'm actually excited for Thursday now. I know going into that stadium again, especially after the Derby playoff last time, there's going to be some memories of that, but
let's exercise them demons, man. Exercise
exactly.
them demons.
I remember when I was at the Derby game and I started to sing Wembley when we're 2-0 off, so I definitely cursed it that day.
Exactly.
And so a woman next to me went, "Hold on, don't get carried away," and then definitely put the kiss of death on it. So I don't care how much we're winning by this time. I'm keeping.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to him letting the shackles off. I think he'll let the shackles off a bit at Elland Road. Go on,
and bring Shackleton in. Oh, it's all working out.
Shackleton winner. There's no kind of figuring things. We're not 1-0 up. We're not. I think JT mentioned we're not 1-0 down. It's 0-0. You just got to win at Elland Road.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. If you just said to me,
we've done it a lot this season.
Yeah, exactly. Win at Elland Road and you're in the final, I'd go 100%.
Back-to-back clean sheets against Norwich as well.
Yeah, I think that 4-3-3 formation as well is going to make Wagner try and second guess it for the next few days. And I think that 4-3-3 it's like JT said, it's that kind of something's being cooked and potentially it just makes him think, well, I don't know what to do if it's 4-3-3. Well, what if it's 4-2-3-1?
Yeah, exactly.
So they're going to be trying to second guess it a little bit, which might be quite interesting.
100%.
Yeah, and also the one thing
as well. Josh Sargent out.
Yeah, oh, really? It's confirmed. Well,
not confirmed, but it looks like it.
What is interesting and is the real crunch point now is for the first time, and what's getting me more nervous thinking about it is now it is do or die. For the last 5 or 6 games, 7, 8 games, It's always been a comfort blanket. There's been a comfort blanket of even if we mess up, we've got the playoffs there. You know, no matter what happens, none of us will really down in the mud because you still have that extra bite of the cherry. No matter what happens today, within reason, you have the second leg on Thursday. But now it is do or die. There is no more second chances. There is no more opportunities to get it wrong, to mess up, to miss chances, to let in stupid goals. It is do or die now. Last game. That really matters. If we get one extra game, brilliant. Hopefully, we all hope we get there in a game, do or die then as well. No more time to mess up. And this is where your bread is buttered, as they say.
Yeah. 100% we will do. We will do. We won't die. We will do on Thursday. I believe that. I'm confident. Listen, everyone, thanks for watching today. It's been a long old slog, especially when them 2 games were absolutely terrible. But we got through it. And, you know, we move to Wednesday night now. Follow Lockie at Lockie Leeds. Follow Paul at Leeds Therapy. Follow JT Live. And Ryan, who's a member of this show. Do you have a channel, Ryan?
I don't. Just follow me in the chat.
Yeah, find him in the chat. Maybe. But Ryan will be back as well. Great to see. Listen, I'm away now for 3 days, but I will be back on. Am I? Yeah, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, I'm back Wednesday. Yeah. But I'll be doing content on Thursday, so I'll pre-record some stuff. I need a well-needed break. I'm off to watch Wicked, Defying Gravity, and all that jazz because I love a good old show. And on that note, we'll leave it. We'll leave it there. Yeah. We'll leave it with some jazz hands. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.